Today we are going to talk about a little hula hoop and why it is an awesome tool to utilize in your therapy practice or for a home exercise program for kiddos. Stay tuned. Why am I obsessed with this little hula hoop? You guys, look how cute it is. It's so tiny. The number one reason is it's about a half an inch to a little bit less than an inch around. When a kiddo is holding on to something, they're gonna be the strongest when their thumb is able to enclose their fist. If you have a little babe, little toddler, and they're trying to hold on to your hand, this is going to be a really inefficient and kind of weaker position for a kiddo, especially if their fingers and their hand strength is still developing. The biggest tip that I have for parents when they're trying to hold the kiddo's hand is to give them one or two fingers, because what that allows them to do is to work on that functional grip strength in a position that is more attainable for them, where their grip is stronger. Now, does that mean you should never give them your full hand to work on this open grasp position? No. You want to absolutely give them 3 fingers, 4 fingers, and work on the C shape. But if your kiddo is constantly taking their hand away from your hand or really struggling at maintaining that C shape, then I would definitely divert back when they get tired or if they're really struggling to 1 finger or 2 fingers. So how does that relate to the hula hoop? What I love about this hula hoop is you can use it for pretty much any level of kiddo and their gross motor activities. You can use this with a kiddo who is significantly impaired in their gross motor, has visual impairments, is working on unsupported sitting, or you can work on this with toddlers who are trying to walk. So we'll go over kind of both of those options today. The other part that I love about this specific hula hoop and what I would encourage you guys to look for if you're a student physical therapist in peds, or parent, is if you can see it, it's really a shinier material. So when I'm picking out hula hoops to use for a variety of kiddos, I'm going for ones with bright colors, kind of this metallic material, shiny, so that my kiddos with visual impairments or kiddos with continuing to develop visual systems are gonna be more engaged with the material. I'm not gonna get like a really bland brown color that's not shiny. I'm looking for a shiny, bright colored object. Those bright colors can help the kiddos distinguish this object from like the brown carpet. The other thing that I love about this one is it makes noise. So when I have kiddos with a visual impairment or with a developing visual system, they're gonna want something that adds in a different sensory aspect. So they love music, they love toys that make music, they love kind of rattle toys. So I'm gonna look for something that makes noise. Another thing you could do if you have like the perfect hula hoop but it doesn't make noise is you could actually tie and maybe glue on little bells around the hula hoop, so when they shake it, then those bells sound. Those are ways to DIY adapt a tool so that it can work for multiple kiddos. So let's get into sizes that you can utilize for the kid. You can pretend that this is a car, right? So if you have a kiddo and they have a really low tone in their hands, and they're super hardcore struggling with holding an adult's hand, walking down the hallway or walking outside with their parents, holding objects, they just kind of like hold it and then drop it. They're just really not interested in maintaining that grasp. You can pretend that you guys are going on a road trip. You get the hula hoop, pretend it's a steering wheel, and you can drive while walking down the hallway. When you're walking down the hallway, what you want to make sure is that the kiddo is holding on with both hands, because what that's going to do is allow for bilateral coordination, which essentially is your brain is controlling 2 sides of the body at once, and it requires both hemispheres of your brain to work together, improves learning just through increasing motor pathways. So you want them to kind of drive side to side. You want them to hold it up. You don't want their elbows to be close to their body because that's not going to work on strengthening the shoulder muscles. So you want them actively driving. You can have them coordinate motions. You can have them wave. So if someone comes down the hallway, you can say, okay, it's time to wave. And then that is requiring their brain to essentially let go, reach up while stabilizing this side. So it's actually a harder activity than you think it would be for kiddos sometimes to coordinate those two motions. Say maybe you're not in a hallway, right? You're in an outpatient clinic. They can be sitting on a scooter while trying to drive and then go pick up objects on the road. So maybe there's a bunch of puzzle pieces around, and in order to get to the puzzle piece, they have to drive while using their hamstrings to move the scooter. So that would be for a kiddo that's maybe a little bit older, a little bit more advanced gross motor wise. You can also utilize perturbations for the shoulder and then also work on balance. So say a kid is driving down the hallway, you can have a windstorm come in and you can shake the steering wheel, and they have to kind of stabilize at their shoulders, but also that's gonna kind of throw their balance off a little bit. They're gonna have to utilize their glute muscles and also kind of their other balance strategies at the hip, at the ankle, and possibly even a stepping strategy, which is where your balance gets off kilter so much that you have to take a step to steady yourself. The next hula hoop activity is really for a kiddo that is just working on grasp and reaching. You can have a kiddo in supported sitting. I'm sitting behind them where I'm supporting their pelvis and helping them reach. You can help them grasp. They're gonna hold it and you're gonna support hand under hand, and their goal is to kind of place the object over. And then maybe they get a reward, they get to dance to their favorite song, they get to sing Wheels on the Bus, and then they have to go back, reach, and then bring back. If that's too difficult, what you can really just work on is having them hold this and shake it. So maybe they shake it a couple times. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Rotation at the trunk, and then reaching and putting it down. So you can work on forward translation, rotation, rotation. You can work on reaching up. Maybe if the kiddo is supporting themselves, you're holding the cone up here and they're placing it over the cone. Maybe if you're co-treating, they can like place the hula hoop onto another therapist or onto a different structure, like a chair up here, so they have to reach and put it on the chair, and then they get to put a puzzle in the puzzle piece. Kind of a complex combination of movements, which will allow your kiddo to work on that grasp and reach. And you can also, if they're holding this hand over hand, hand under hand, you can also utilize this as a guiding tool. Another option, you can do this sitting or standing, is to have the kiddo hold on to the hula hoop. And now baby Eric obviously has no head control. With a kiddo, you'd want them to have head control, and you could rotate here, you could shake here, rotating over them. Sometimes kiddos find that kind of funny, like, oh, now the hula hoop's on you. Oh, so you can kind of go, oh, now the hula hoop's on me, shake, shake, shake. Oh, now the hula hoop's off, now the hula hoop's on you. The next thing you can do is more for kiddos who are learning to walk. If you have a kiddo who's standing, you can get in here, they can hold the hula hoop, and you can walk with them. So that obviously doesn't work because I don't have enough hands. But essentially what we're gonna look at is if the kiddo is here, you can help support them, weight shift them over, they can take a step, weight shift them over, they can take a step. And what the hula hoop does is it allows them to feel secure, they're really close, not in that high guard position or way up here holding someone else's hands. They're still getting that support. They know where their body is in space, but it's starting to be more of a natural position, and they're getting more confident by having their arms closer to their hips. Because if you go from here holding the hula hoop here to here, which is more of a natural walking motion, it's not as far of progress or comfort level as it is when you go from here holding someone's hands to here. This is not necessarily the position we want kiddos to walk in as they get better at walking, because this is not a normal walking position for their upper extremities. If you go from here, it's hard to just kind of go to pick up an object, where if your hands are here, you can go and pick up an object much easier. If you like this video, make sure to click like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps other parents and therapists find these videos in order to help more kiddos.